Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Nola Nerd Podcast video vlog. Such a fun word to say, vlog.
It's like
Doesn't sound like it should be a real thing.
Vlog.
I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
I'm Barbie.
I'm New Scott.
It's Andy, and I'm eating a waffle cone.
Professional.
It's delicious.
It's not.
The gist of this episode, we touched briefly, or semi-briefly, or pretty nicely, on this topic during our audio show, the comics episode number 28, available on iTunes. But we're just going to expand on it and let you see our faces as we discuss such interesting and intricate
Blinding
things.
hot rage.
Blinding hot mess.
Don't touch me. That's weird.
Stop
it. Stop it. That's weird, too.
High five, you, Scott.
Yeah.
Basically,
Sorry, old Scott.
you're not here, old Scott. So this is a double F-U to the A, son, or something. I don't know.
All right,
Let's move on.
We only got
Justice League. The basic gist of this is going to be, everyone's talking about the Avengers and how phenomenal it is and how it's a 4-year experiment that paid off in spades. And now they're going to build on that. We're going to talk about whether or not Warner Brothers has what it takes to follow suit now that they have been proven wrong that the going public is not ready for a superhero full-on tights and costumes team-up movie. What can Warner Brothers do to make a Justice League movie happen?
And to clarify, the Batman that they would use would not be Christopher Nolan's Batman.
See, Christopher...
I didn't realize this ahead of time, but until Matt told me that they're going to redo Batman pretty much after the Dark Knight trilogy.
See, I don't think you have to necessarily even reboot Batman. I mean, people know who Batman is, and you don't for Batman to be in the Justice League, you don't even need Bruce Wayne. So you don't need you could cast anybody, just have him there in the Batman suit. People will know who he is. People knew about the Batman movies. The only characters you need to do movies for are Superman, because you need to establish him from the Richard Donner series.
Wonder Woman,
Flash, and
Green Lantern.
Build on Green Lantern.
Green
Because
Lantern,
they already have a strong base. They just need to build
Green
on it.
Lantern 2 needs to be the movie like Iron Man 2, where it fits itself and expands its own universe.
I don't think you need to even reboot that. You know what? Batman can even show up in a Superman movie.
Yeah.
It could be like Superman goes to
People
Gotham
are waiting
and enlists the
so
help of
much
Batman.
for a World's Finest movie.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
But
you don't need to do a whole new series.
the main thing that has to be known is Man of Steel is going to be the one that starts it all, if they do it right.
Right.
Yes.
The Christopher Nolan trilogy is self-contained. It has nothing to do with anything. Anything Batman-related would come after.
So you think Man of Steel is pretty much going to make or break this?
Man of Steel is going to make or break their endeavor. Because if they let Man of Steel go without it laying down the foundation for their unified DC universe, then it's just going to... Then Superman effectively can't be part of it.
Right.
Because then they would have to reboot Superman again. And that's just stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's stupid. That would be 3 reboot movies in 3 movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's stupid. They can't do that. Superman, Man of Steel has got to be their way of showing that we can do this too. We're not retarded. What do you think, Chris?
I think that DC and Warner Bros. Are now in a much harder position on 2 fronts. Number one, anything they're going to do is going to be compared to Avengers. Which Avengers kind of had the easier road because you could throw in S.H.I.E.L.D. and have S.H.I.E.L.D. be the blanket reason why everyone was needed.
Mm-hmm.
And that gave a logical reason. There's no force on the planet against Superman to do anything Superman doesn't want to do. So it's kind of harder from like a story aspect. And if you throw in any kind of threat that require an entire league, it was kind of just done in Avengers.
No, see, but we were talking about this earlier. I think I've come with a workaround to that. Like, the classic story would be the parademon apocalypse, your head's cut off.
It's fine.
I'm moving.
Anyway.
This is uncomfortable.
Told you.
We'll steal my Chris.
You can't have the Parademon's Dark Side style thing because that's almost beat for beat the same thing as the Chitauri and Thanos type of thing going on in Avengers. They could do Starro, but then it's still an alien invasion.
I think they need to stay away from space.
What I was thinking is one of the classic things about the Justice League is Lex Luthor and Cadmus's complete distrust of a group of superpowered people being on a watchtower above Earth unchecked. So I think a really cool kind of conflict would be if Cadmus and Amanda Waller and then teams up with Lex Luthor and maybe even like Star Labs or something. A unified human presence that essentially goes to war with the Justice League, because it would create a lot of cool conflicts because they can't truly fight back as they normally would, because that would prove everybody right.
Do you think a Legion of Doom style thing could work? Just take
Secret.
all the villains from
Justice League
from
2.
their respective movies?
I think Lex Luthor would probably be a great initial threat.
Yeah, like
because they could have done that in the Avengers. That could have conceivably been an idea, but I think that would have been too much.
That's
like if it would have been like Loki, Red Skull.
But then it's just
Yeah.
too much to happen.
Yeah,
like, you
there's
can't
too
have
many people.
that many heroes, that many
Right.
villains, and then hope to have any kind of characterization or character depth to any of
Right.
them.
The other thing that worked in Marvel's favor is that most of their cast had movies to do all their character work for them.
Right.
So by the time Avengers came out, it was just...
And that's why we're thinking, we discussed what movies would have to be made to lead up to Justice League. You can't just do cold turkey Justice League movie,
Mhm.
because then you spend 2 of your 2.5 hours having everyone get together,
Right.
and you lose out on all your focus.
So Superman, Wonder Woman...
Man of Steel has to start it off. Then you get Green Lantern 2, which we talked about at the least could have, if you were wanting to bring Martian Manhunter into it, he could be in it because he's a cosmic type of person. And then someone had a great idea. You could bring Aquaman into it during the Wonder Woman movie,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Themyscira and Atlantis already share connections. She could be like, her mission or whatever plot the movie is could bring her there. He could be like, because people like Aquaman and Martian Manhunter can't carry their own films. You'd have to treat them like Hawkeye and Black Widow and Avengers.
I think
and have
Aquaman
them,
could, but I don't think anyone would take it seriously.
that's
Right.
the point.
No.
Like,
It was a whole season.
You
It
need
was a whole season of Entourage,
you need
which killed
Yeah,
that
you need to
notion.
establish him as badass in another movie.
they need to do what Jeff Johns has done with current
Yeah.
Aquaman, is embrace the fact that no one takes him seriously, and this is a man who is going to constantly do his best to prove everyone otherwise in as
Right.
badass a way as possible. But he has to be in another person's movie. Flash can get his own movie, and I'm going to say now, if I had to dream team this, if let's say everything was rebooted, like Green Lantern 2 never happened and they just reboot Green Lantern, say,
I mean,
right?
Green Lantern.
I think Ryan Reynolds should be Flash, not Hal Jordan.
Yes. I
Yeah.
agree.
If I could have the perfect Flash, Ryan Reynolds was always a better Wally
There's
West.
too many superheroes.
It's- I know,
Too
but
much.
you're.
That was Chris
I'm,
Evans. Nobody's complaining.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
true.
I mean,
It'd be funny if he was just Flash.
but that's what I'm
And someone else was
saying.
Green Lantern.
Like,
They could honestly just throw in like Jon Stewart, just like they did, just for more diversity.
Or even throwing a Kyle Rayner.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think they'll throw in Kyle. It'll be either John or Hal.
I
Yeah.
think you could take out Martian Manhunter. and put in Cyborg.
Unfortunately.
no, I agree.
Yeah.
If they would
Cyborg.
take Martian Manhunter and put in Cyborg. Now, Cyborg can be in a kind of Superman movie, actually, because Superman deals with alien stuff.
Star Lab stuff.
And Star Labs, where Cyborg's dad is, and Superman, let's say, recovers some kind of crazy alien technology,
Mhm.
and holy shit, it's a boom tube, and because Superman can deal with the parademon stuff,
Yeah.
and
Right.
then the explosion creates Cyborg, and Cyborg, he doesn't actually become Cyborg in that movie, but the accident that leads to him is in that movie.
Well,
You
part
can
of the,
totally do it.
part of
in
the
a
problem is
Justice League movie.
does anyone actually even know what the Man of Steel plot is?
No,
Yeah.
No.
So-
but that's what
We
I'm
don't even know
saying.
who the big bad
They're
is.
far. It's still
We
early
see
enough
Lex,
in its
but-
development that they
When's
can
it supposed to be
add.
released again?
It's sometime next.
December.
Yeah,
Next
December
year.
of next year.
yeah. So they have plenty of time to add all these elements in. Like, it doesn't feel like they have to shoehorn it in. They have plenty of time to fit these extra scenes in and make it work.
Which hopefully they can do.
I do. You know what? I do like that human element, like have the villains just be run-of-the-mill humans, because it sets up the whole thing. Like, there's like basically superpowered gods, and there's humans.
Like,
You know,
if
try to take
anything,
it
the
down.
Justice League Unlimited cartoon series proved that Cadmus and Lex Luthor could be incredibly dangerous threats. And
Right.
that's what I love, is that it doesn't seem far-fetched.
right.
Because you want to avoid the alien invasion. As perfect as that would be, you would be nothing but bemoaned for copycatting. To put it in a video game perspective, as great as the move is, no one ever sees it as anything other than a copy of the Wii. Because it's too similar. No matter what it does on its own, at its face value, it's a copy. And so, I mean, that's what, if they did a space invasion Justice League movie, that'd be the same thing.
Although, it would probably be the easiest story to
It
make.
would be, but, you know.
If you were to do a Batman reboot, I don't want it to be an origin story.
If they're going to do a Batman reboot, no, they need to do a Batman and Robin.
If they do a Batman reboot, it needs to be like, he's already been Batman for a while. And not even Robin, like maybe just like
no, you know what would be great? A Bat family book.
Maybe just yeah, like a Batman like just Batman like
Nightwing,
Nightwing's all year round, Batgirl's all year round, just dealing with like the Bat family.
Like don't insult people's intelligence, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you can have a story.
Tim Burton's Batman wasn't an origin story.
There's well,
no, they talked about his parents.
I mean,
that was the first time everyone saw him.
Yeah.
But he was already Batman in the beginning of the movie. That's what I mean.
But you don't have to, but that's what I'm saying. You don't have to insult the intelligence. He can start off well established in his career and tell what you need to tell via flashback and just like dialogue.
Right.
Have someone who's really good at revealing details without being expositionary.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can reboot Superman because it's been a while.
Here's the thing. I mean, like I don't think any origin at this point should take longer than 20 minutes to film.
I mean, there's some characters you'll have to. I mean, I'm all for Wonder Woman and Flash getting a reboot. If they're gonna reboot Green Lantern, don't
Wonder
reboot
Woman and
Green
Flash
Lantern.
don't count as reboots.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah. If you're gonna do Wonder Woman and Flash, you gotta do the origin. If you're gonna do a Green Lantern reboot, I don't want another origin.
No, I mean like Superman. Can
Even
be
if
done
it is Jon Stewart,
Superman can be done in 20 minutes or less.
Yeah.
Batman can be done in 15 or less.
Superman can be straight up done in the intro sequence, like
yeah. And I think
like,
they do it.
They do it perfectly in 4 pages of a comic book.
Yeah.
Doom Planet, Last Son, Missile to Earth, Raised by the Kents, Loving Family, Strong American Values. Now he's a protector of truth, justice, in the American way.
Batman's family.
Fucking move on.
Batman's family shot, trains the world, becomes ultimate bad guy.
I really want the Batman family movie.
That'd be awesome. I mean, well, that's how do you establish yourself from Nolan is take a completely different twist on it. It doesn't have to be super serious and dark. It can be serious and awesome. It's like an Iron Man movie, except Batman's not Iron Man. That's why you pair with Nightwing or Robin. You have the comedy aspect.
That's a fine line, though, for Batman, because on the one hand of it, you end up with Batman 66, and on the other hand, you end up with Batman Begins.
Right.
There you go. Seriously, your eyes were being cut off.
I can't. It just hurts my leg to do this.
Well, then stand farther away.
Who would y'all want to play Wonder Woman?
Yeah, who would you?
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
Oh, shit.
That is a tough one.
She would be good, wouldn't she?
Yeah.
I don't think
Adrian Padalecki.
I don't think she has the acting chops for it, though.
Adrian Padalecki.
She was the girl that was supposed to be in the
I
pilot.
don't know if she's Greek, right? So I'd want
you need an actress who
someone.
Like Chris Hemsworth, I thought did a good job as Thor because he carried himself like a god. So we need an actress.
You need someone like who's like the female Chris Hemsworth.
No, what you need is and then the plot of Wonder Woman has got to follow the current one where the Greek gods. She's actually a demigod now.
Right.
Like that would be cool and sets up further like story arcs down the road. And it could tie into Justice League because the gods have. Like she's taking on a mission of the gods to help out, or who knows, whatever. But having it'd be such a cool concept having the gods live among the humans.
Yeah.
And that would be Wonder Woman's story. Like that could bring her to Atlantis because she's meeting with Poseidon. Bam! That's why she goes to Atlantis and meets Aquaman because of Poseidon. Who knows? But we've got 1 minute left. Why don't you just hurry up and man up with your knees, huh? I understand. Well, maybe if you weren't always bending over. I don't know.
What does that even mean?
It means you suck a lot of dick.
What are we talking about?
Final thoughts. Do you think a Justice League movie could work? And if let's say it does come out, do you think it would be good?
It'll work if Man of Steel succeeds.
I mean, the other movies would be good too. Like
it's a big depends.
But Chris is right. They will be comparing this to the Avengers.
It's got a much harder road than Avengers had.
Well, yeah, because when you're first, you don't have that scrutiny
as much.
Though. But I think it's completely possible, but it really hinges on... It doesn't even matter if Superman is a raging money-making success. It just has to not be a huge flop. Because look at Green Lantern. It made him enough money. It just needs to establish a universe.
John Carter.
No John Carter. But as that stands, we are running out of time, so everyone say goodbye real quick. I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
I'm Barbie.
Andy.
There we go. Bye, guys. Nola Nerds.
Peace.